Welcome back to our June Zoom edition. And wrapping up the show is Lauri Leduc from Stratford Walking Tours. Lauri, thanks very much for joining me.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So you grew up in Perth County and your university education is in history. How does that help you in terms of your new business?
I've always had a passion for history, something that I really loved, especially local history. And I lived in the Hamilton area for a few years. So I gained an appreciation of home. I think once you leave but come back, you gain that appreciation. So my love of history and my knowledge of the local area have all kind of combined together to create the company.
Well, that's awesome. So I know your walking tours are 75 minutes. Tell us more about that and how you go about booking one.
Sure. We start the walk at City Hall, the front steps, a good meeting point, a focal point in Stratford. And we spend about 75 minutes walking around the downtown core, looking at key historic buildings, talking about events and people and things from the past. And it takes about 2 kilometers, the entire route. And we end back up at City Hall and spend that time together learning about the history of Stratford.
Well, why don't we talk about some crazy stories about the history? There's a guy named Tom Brown and something about Mexico. How do those two connect?
Yes, the history there is very unique. So, Tom Brown was an alderman or councillor, as we call them now, back in the 1920s. It was a time after the First World War that the trauma and the of that event caused people in the 1920s to want to move forward, to progress, to get past that horrible part of history. And Tom was very much in that style of leader and businessman. He was young, handsome, good family, progressive ideas, and he very popular. So he was elected alderman a couple terms, and then ran for mayor. Successful at that as well, and then decided he'd step away from council in about 1925 to focus on his business. He dabbled in investments and mortgages and sold stocks and bonds, and quite successful and well known. And everything was going along fine until January 1st, 1930. He disappeared. He was gone, vanished without a trace, no contact with family or friends. And the police, treated it as a missing person case. There were rumors he had went to Toronto maybe to visit some friends. They found his car abandoned on the side of the road, and all kinds of stories, but no information about Tom or his whereabouts. But then these stories started coming out. And a few weeks later, his business partner, Andrew Reinhardt was his name, and they had offices in Festival Square or the Gordon Block downtown. And his business partner kind of sheepishly made the announcement, the safety deposit boxes, they're all emptied, they're gone. And then the merchants around town said, well, Tom Brown, he stiffed me for, 1,000 here and 1,000 there. And then a service club like the Oddfellows Lodge, they had invested money with Tom to prepare to get ready for some renovations of their hall. $17,000 in 1930, which is at least about 50 or 60,000 today, gone as well. So Tom was gone, the money was gone, safety deposit box emptied. And so the police now, instead of a missing person case, it was a theft case. Fast forward to April. To make the long story short, Mexican police called Stratford Police and said, we have found a deceased body in our town. We opened up his jacket and inside it said Tom Brown of Stratford. So they thought, okay, mystery solved. We found it. Looks like he was trying to live the high life and escaped to Mexico. But there's some stories that came back saying, no, I saw Tom Brown in Miami at a hotel bar. And actually, the late former councillor Dave Bradshaw, well-known figure in Stratford, he was a little bit of an amateur sleuth, and he looked into it too and was kind of convinced Tom really maybe didn't die in Mexico, that he might have absconded with the money and was living the high life everywhere. So very interesting story. Now about 100 years old, but still very interesting details for today.
All right, that's awesome. Yours, if you want to take a tour of Stratford and get behind the scenes and hear about Tom Patterson or why do we have a street called C.H. Meyer, join Lauri on her tour, get her tickets online. Lauri, thanks for joining me. Have a very successful summer.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm your host, Peter Morange. Thanks for watching What's Up Stratford. Make it a great day.